7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
International superstar, Miss Buttabrocka.
You are now tuned in to buttabrocka on Transparency Talks Podcast.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to another episode of Transparency Talks Podcast. I am your girl, buttabrocka. Listen, we have an amazing show for you today. But before I bring on my special guest, Happy New Year. It is a new year. We are alive. And I'm just happy to be here and so honored to have my very first guest for 2026 with us today. She is a multi-hyphenate actress, author, producer. She writes plays, she sings. I mean, she does so many amazing things. Can you guys please show some love? Oh, and you also know her from Beyond the Gates. Can you guys please show some love for Trisha Mann Grant?
Oh, that was wonderful. I guess I didn't realize I was your first person for your first interview for 2026. That is amazing.
Yes.
Love it. Hey,
Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year, beautiful. How are you?
I am doing great. How are you doing?
I am wonderful, honey. This year has started out, even though I had a few deaths in the fam, this year still started out wonderful because for the family that's still here, I got a chance to see a lot of my in-laws and, ended it in Thanksgiving, seeing my mom. So, family first, right? That's the thing. There's business, yes, but family has got to mean something. So, yeah, it's been beautiful.
I love it. I love it. Well, Trisha, I like to dive right on in. Can you tell everybody a little bit of background about yourself?
Ooh, okay. I was hoping you'd do that.
Okay, well, I know that you are from Chicago.
See, great minds, great minds. I actually was going to say I am a South Side baby from Chicago, Illinois, and I left Chicago at the age of 27. But before I did a lot of Ebony and Jet magazine print for 10 years. I was also Miss Black Chicago, and I went to Roosevelt University and Chicago Musical College. I had a scholarship there, and then I moved to LA in 1997. And I remember it was January the 10th, 1997. I moved to LA to pursue my career. Started out doing a lot of extra work, a lot of background work. So, I have much love and respect for all my background actors out there because we all have to start somewhere. And because I started there, I will never forget the journey. And then I just started doing plays and short films and then independent feature films, next thing you know, the leading roles were coming. I was complaining about having, co-starring roles, and Wendy Raquel Robinson said to me, girl, stop. Please, you can have so much more fun, even with those roles. She was like, trust me. So I thought about it a different way. And I'm like, hey, it doesn't matter what role. It's what you do with that role when God blesses you with it. So that has been my thought process ever since. What am I doing with this role? So, yeah. And all these years, doing stage and touring and film and TV and sitcoms. And then in 2024, I get Beyond the Gates. Oh, I can't forget about the family business because that was my first TV consistent role, thanks to Indy Brown, thanks to Trey Haley, Carl Weber, and the whole family business crew. And I played Dominique Leroux. Everybody thought I was going to die, girl. But
I thought so too.
I Oh, she's still here. Dominique is still here. You'll see her in season 7. Hey. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you just, I want to dissect some of the things that you just said.
Okay.
What was it like growing up in Chicago, Chi-Town?
It was like being bullied every day, having to fight because my
Oh,
grandmother was a beautician and a mortician. So she did the live people's hair by day and the dead people's hair by night. And she would take her time massaging our scalps and putting the sulfur 8 and just, trimming our ends and making sure my sister and I had healthy, long, beautiful hair. And so every day I go to school, I have to deal with being pushed up in the corner with some scissors in my face and people trying to cut my hair, being followed home. I'll say their names now because it's been so many years, they probably forgot. Bonnie and Darlene would follow me home. Me and my sister beat us up in front of our house until we had to learn how to fight. Big Monica at IHeart, she would put me in the bathroom saying, I'm going to beat your sister up after school and you going to help me. And I'm looking up at this girl going, okay, because I'm in 2nd grade. She's in 5th grade. She's really big, tall girl, scared me to life. And so I was like, okay, but of course I didn't help her. I just wanted to tell her whatever she needed to hear. Then go stay with grandma over on 93rd and Vernon and had to deal with the bullies over there, which interestingly enough, they became our friends. Because my grandmother was like, no, we're not having this. And she marched us over to their house. And it was my fault, though, because I was messing with the hopscotch girl. I was causing some stuff that day. And my sister said, girl, leave they hopscotch alone. I said, nope, we going to change it. I pick up the rock and I pulled a little Leslie Jr. and I start changing the hopscotch. And then they came over and next thing you know, my sister was on the ground and she's getting beat up because I was being hard-headed, I tell you.
that is too funny.
But on the good side, Chicago was truly a wonderful experience outside of having to learn how to fight and being bullied. I have most of my family, my cousins, excuse me, are there. Lake Michigan, I have so many memories of me and my friends hanging out at Lake Michigan, the beautiful downtown area, going to Roosevelt University, learning music and music education. It was truly a great experience. And then it was time to go and get on with the acting. Amen.
Amen. Amen. So as a kid, were you the performer or the storyteller in your family?
I was the performer.
Okay.
Yeah.
So music came first for you.
It wasn't even just music. It was acting and skits in church. It was at 15 years old. I'll never forget. I went to Willibrord, St. Willibrord or Willibrord Catholic. And I'll never forget Sister Dorothy sitting down and talking to me because I was an introvert. And she would encourage me and tell me, you're beautiful. And I didn't think I was. She would say, you're smart and you're talented. And I just was so inward. And so I remember because of her, I started to write. And I started to write skits and short plays. And then all my friends wanted to be in them because Sister Dorothy was giving me A's left and right, girl. A plus here, A minus there. It was always an A. And it encouraged me to want to write more. Next thing you know, my bestie, Dina Craig, and I named my daughter after her. It used to be Dina Williams back in the day, but there we were up in front of the whole school at the assembly doing our little rap, making up just changing words to, was it Curtis Blow's song? I think it was a Curtis Blow rap back in the day, and performing and then doing the plays. And so I was always performing, whether it was in the choir or whether it was theater.
That is an amazing story.
Yeah.
So what about your family? Were they very supportive of you at an early age when they started to see that you was really involved and
Girl,
interested?
What? They were too supportive. They were the ones pushing me out to perform in front of the church and do things when I didn't want to. I
Yeah.
mean, I was 12 years old playing the organ, and my grandmother had me because she just wanted them to see that I could play the organ because that was my first instrument before the piano. And so there I am playing a polka song because that's what was in my book at
Yeah.
home. And I'm sitting at the organ and I could hear people whispering. But that's because Granny was like, nope, I want you to. And she talked to the pastor and the assistant pastor,
Right.
and they let me get up there. And I'm up there boop, doop, 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 playing this polka song. And everybody's like, what in the world is happening up in here? And my sister and I would do the I Met a Bear camp song with the bear in front of the crowd and just everything. And so we finally started to sing in the choir, and then we were singing the church songs.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Like my mom, she had me singing to everybody in our family owned the church. My
Yeah.
uncle pastor, so oh my God,
Mhm.
sing. I was like, Jesus.
Right, right. But I think the most amazing moment that I had was when I got into the oratorical contest at Antioch Missionary Baptist Church,
Mhm.
15 years old. I had on a white robe, and I remember being on stage, and I did The Creation, James Weldon Johnson's The Creation, and God stepped out on space. And so all I remember is something happened that day. And during that piece, because my grandmother used to do dramatic readings, this was a dramatic reading in front of the church.
Mhm.
During that piece, there was this warmth, this beautiful love and warmth that just fell on me. And I cannot remember how I got to the end of that thing. I just remember it was spiritual, it was beautiful, it was it moved everyone in the church. It
Mhm.
felt like at that moment I was deemed, okay, now she's going to be an actress, here's her anointing, boom. That's how it felt.
Wow.
And it was amazing. And all I know is they were all standing on their feet, and I had that was my very first standing ovation. But it wasn't because of me. That it was truly, the Holy Spirit. And all I know is at that moment, I believe that is when it was time for me to really fully start going into acting
Mhm.
and doing this thing. There are people that are talented, and they really are, because they work hard at it. And then there are people that are gifted in whatever thing it is. There are things I'm not gifted in.
Mhm.
It's quite like if you said, Trisha, come decorate my house, girl, you're in trouble.
Right.
God didn't give me that gift.
Right.
You said, come do my makeup, you are truly in trouble. It's
Right.
not going to happen the way you may want it to. But I believe that each of us has this unique, wonderful, God-given gift. And at that moment, I think God was like, yep, this is what you're going to do. You're
Mhm.
going to be in entertainment. And I'll never forget that. I'll never forget that day. It wasn't even about the fact that there was this standing ovation.
Right.
It was the beautiful experience that happened during the performance,
Mhm.
and just how wonderful it felt. Yeah.
I understand that completely. So you get the bug, and now it's time to move to LA. What was
Mm.
that transition like for you?
It was a little scary.
Mhm.
I had to give me one. Do you hear talking in the background?
I do.
All right, give me 1 second. Hey, baby, can you close the door? Yeah, I'm doing a little interview thing, and we can hear your lovely voice. Thank you, honey. All right, and then keep it down a little bit. All right, there we go. All right, he's just a chatting. Yeah, man. Right. Okay, so love him in life. All right, so that transition, having to leave my 3-year-old behind with his father and his stepmom at that time for just a couple of months,
Mhm.
to get there and transition into, I mean, I went there with just a little bit of money,
Mm.
tiny, teeny bit. And I did go there having an agent already, thanks to Doc Walls from Chicago. Doc did help me. He managed me in the very beginning and got me an agent. And I believe Terry Bradshaw was my very first TV experience the minute that I got to LA. And Terry Bradshaw's in sports. For those that don't know, he's been doing it for years. And he had this talk show called The Terry Bradshaw Show. And I was on there with the singer. Oh Lord, did I just draw a blank? But anyway, if it comes to me, I'll bring it up later. But yeah, there I was. It was some little thing we did. I forgot what it was. But anyway, I was like, oh my God, this is what TV is like. And next thing you know, I'm doing the background work on different shows. And then I meet Ella Joyce from Rock. And I said, did you ever do background work? She said, baby, please, that's all I ever did. I'm the queen of background. And then I made a choice at some point that it's time to not do any more background. I have got to get into these speaking roles. I have got to focus on elevating to the next level because of where my heart and my desire was, which was really work and be on TV with lines. And when I made that choice, I said, okay, God, I'm done with the background. So now please open up a door for me. And sure enough, here comes the test. I get a call from the Parker show and they're like, hey, we got this glorified extra role. They didn't call it that, but technically that's what it was. And all you're going to do is be, what do you call it? Like an assistant to the magician on there, J. Anthony Brown's character. And they said, you're going to get a lot of FaceTime. And I heard myself say, thank you, but no thank you. When you have some speaking roles, let me know. I'm no longer doing background work. And when I hung up that phone, I was like, what did I just do? And when I tell you they called me back not long after that and said, hey, we have a speaking role for you. Wow. So, you know, sometimes we have to just really just stand on that faith. We've got to be strong and convicted in what we truly want to do, not waver. Yeah. And yeah, because I heard myself say those words. I don't know where they came from. They came out my mouth. But I was like, after it was over, I couldn't believe I said that to that. Right. They're trying to bless me with a job. Right. And they ended up giving me speaking roles. So, and then from then on, it was different sitcoms and little 5-liners here and there. And next thing you know, touring with his woman, his wife, and several of those kinds of tours, and then TV and film. So yeah,
that is awesome.
Yeah, that journey was rough. I mean, I'll be honest with you, brother. I remember being under my table, crying my eyes out, drinking a bottle of Alizé, and just bawling. Because I was like, I didn't know how I was going to pay the rent next month. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, when, Lord, when, why? You know, just help me. What is happening in my life? I'm here. I know you brought me here. Because I had this strong feeling to come and move to LA. Right. And like, what is going on? And next thing you know, I booked a print job, which paid me $6,000. So rent was straight for a minute. Right. Gave me a breather while I could do a little more work and make a few more connections. So, and one thing always led to something else. Let me just say that. Yeah. It was like a domino effect. Mm-hmm. You know, you go ahead.
I was going to say that's actually a wonderful testimony, because so many people in this industry, it gets tough, and we get to the point where we're like, just want to give up because the doors are not opening for us. Right. And especially, you know, indie filmmakers and everything, the door isn't opening, and you're always like, win, win, win. So to hear you say, I had those wins too, and I had those crying moments, that is good. I mean, it's not good that you went through it, but it's good to hear that you went through it. You know, it is that you was able to share, and people can see that you went through things as well. So.
It was really good, because you got to count it all joy.
Yeah.
And when you're counting it all joy, that means the good and the bad. Why?
Mhm.
Because it's the bad that shapes you. It's the bad that molds you into the person that you are now, because
Right.
you remember those hardships. And trust me, that's just one of many that I
Right.
had. You know, so yeah, I don't mind sharing the good and the bad, because we all come through, and
Yeah.
there are people that are probably on the brink of giving up right now.
Mhm.
And so I just want to encourage every single person out there that if this is in you, and you know this is what you should do, and this is the road you're supposed to take, whatever that road is, whether it's acting, whether it's modeling, whatever it is, it doesn't even have to be entertainment. But if this is in your heart to do it. Do not stop. Do not get, because it's that moment right there. Here's the moment of victory, and you're right here and don't even know that it's staring you in the face because you stop and turn around and go back the other way.
Right.
We ain't got time for that, girl. But you know why? Because there are other people out there that need you in whatever line of work it is that God has purpose for you to be. You are supposed to be there. So get going. Stop
Yeah.
playing. And just come on. Get back up, shake yourself off, brush yourself off, and keep moving forward. Because the challenges always come. Even sometimes when you get the victory, you get the job, you still have some challenges.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
that's life.
That's good. Because people really do have a hard time with the no's and picking themselves back up off of the no's, and a lot of people take the no's personal. Sometimes they're not. Your no is because you just don't fit that particular role, because they're looking for somebody a little taller, a little smaller, a little bigger, just different things on why the no. But the no could mean not right now.
Absolutely. And sure, there will be times when they are personal. There
Hmm.
will be times when you're like, what did I do to you? Or why are you, giving me a hard time?
Right.
And you don't know what's going on behind the scenes. And you know what? Sometimes that's okay, because maybe God is saving you from something, or a door that you should not walk through.
Mhm.
And you think that's your door, but that
Right.
door has somebody else's name on it,
Right.
you know? So we have to understand that what's for us is for us.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. So, Trisha, you wear a lot of hats. You're an actor, you're a writer, you're a producer. Which one did you fall in love with first?
That's interesting, because I started doing more writing before I really started doing more acting.
Hmm.
And I really love writing. But I have to say, they're both neck and neck.
Gotcha.
They really are. It's like if someone said, Trisha, go ahead and finish your script, but you still got this acting situation. If I could do them both at the same time, and technically I can. It's
Hmm.
just about me budgeting my time, because
Right.
it's funny you bring this up. I was thinking this morning, I've got to finish my second book, which I put on the shelf 2 years ago.
Mm.
And I know you and I have talked about the whole thing about procrastination. And I know
Right.
I mentioned it at the BBR indie film industry events that you have. I'm
Mhm.
always going to bring up procrastination, because procrastination kills our dreams. And God knows I used to be the queen of procrastination, and so many things that I really could have had done by now.
Mhm.
I mean, right now, I could have had several books out there if I had just budgeted my time, turned off the TV, stopped scrolling
Okay.
on social media, stopped being out at this event, that event, doing this, doing that, and focusing on what it is that I need to get done. Because again, it's just not about me. And you've heard me say this before, Butter. It's about someone else being encouraged or blessed or inspired by whatever it is that I'm getting done.
Mhm.
Because someone will read that and there's something in there that they need to see, because I'm not going to write no garbage.
Right. Right.
It's going to have a message somewhere.
Right.
Girl, look, let me divert for a second. Do you know, watch, my husband Tony, had me watch Frankenstein yesterday. And usually I don't like watching scary things anymore, but let me tell you something. I was like, well, I remember Frankenstein back in the day when, he wasn't that bad. So I was like, okay. But it's one of the latest Frankenstein movies. And when I tell you, the message in that movie was phenomenal.
Really?
Messages, the writing, the acting. I wish I could remember these people's names. I cannot right now. I wish I could do better at giving them more credit. But it's one of the latest Frankenstein movies, and it's done in a period piece way. But I'm, of course, as an actress, writer, producer, I'm always looking at, the talent. I'm looking at how they deliver their lines. I'm looking at the set design. I'm looking at all that. But that thing touched me. It moved me. I couldn't stop crying. The credits was over. I'm still like, woo-hoo. And I'm like, my God, that was beautiful. I mean, it was sad, but yet it was beautiful. And yet it had a meaning and a message. And I'm like, this is what we need to think about when we're writing stuff. Yeah, I love comedy, girl. I'll be goofy with everybody. I like to do funny stuff.
Right.
But there's also a way that you can do funny stuff and still have purpose in it and still have a message. And if you think like that, then what you're putting out is always going to make a difference to some degree. I don't care if it's one scene. Just have a message somewhere in it. Don't just put out garbage. And this is to all the writers and producers out there, y'all. Think about what you're a part of and what you're putting out. Yeah. And listen, and if what you're a part of is craziness on the screen, then at least be doing something behind the scenes that you're making a difference with, your fellow co-stars or, castmates or the producers or the writers or the crew. Just let your light shine, even if it is behind the scenes.
Absolutely. You were in the middle of writing your amazing testimonies when you had your stroke. And most people would have put the laptop away. Why was it so vital for you to finish that book in the middle of you healing your own self?
Because I had finally made that promise to God, because he had been nudging me for a whole 15 years. So in 2000, I had gotten the idea, the download came to me, and I started and then I stopped, and I kept starting and stopping and starting and stopping. And then finally in 2015, I said, you know what, Lord, I'm gonna get this done. I'm gonna do this because you gave this to me and I've been procrastinating all these years. And then once that stroke happened and I'm sitting in that wheelchair and couldn't move and couldn't talk, and I'm like this, half of me shut down, and I realized what was going on. And I prayed in my mind for God to give me back my mobility. And he did. It was at that moment that I said, oh, I'm definitely going to get this book done. So there I am in the bed having panic attacks all day, every half an hour it seemed. And it actually was every half an hour on the first day, and then every hour, and then every other hour. They would get less and less as the days went by. But for 6 months straight, I was having panic attacks. I would make the phone calls to the people that I put in the book, and I would do the interviews, and I would put them on mute, and they wouldn't even know that I was in the midst of having a panic attack. So if there was something I missed as I was typing, then I would come back over on the phone and go, hey, listen, let's go back over this. And then if I missed something, I'd say, no, yeah, don't forget to add that and that. Or I'd ask them. And it was called determination, and it was called fulfilling a promise. Because when you make a vow like that, a divine vow, you have to follow through. You just have to. Don't let your words be meaningless. Let your yay be your yay, your nay be your nay. And that was it. I was like, I'm going to get it done. I drove my family crazy.
Right.
My husband came home one day and he slammed that computer down. I was like, nope, get up. We're going to the beach. You need a break. Because I was just like, and I was like a little mad scientist.
Right.
But I was neglecting the ones that I love, and the thing about
television when we
it was television.
Yeah.
But the thing about there's balance.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm glad that he allowed my husband to do that, and that I was obedient enough to submit and listen and go, okay, all right, let's go. And I'll be honest, for the first 5-10 minutes, I was mad. I was like, what you mean? I'm in the middle. I'm on the road. And you can come in here, put my computer down. And for a few minutes, I was mad, and then I got over myself.
Right.
And I was so glad that we went to the beach with the doggies, and I needed it. Sometimes we have to take a break for our own self-care, for our own mental capacity to have a moment. We have to step away from the thing that's right there in our face 24/7.
Right.
But I know you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes, girl, you are on the go, go, go. So, yes.
So let's talk Beyond the Gates.
Let's talk Beyond the Gates. Woo.
You play the character Dana Leslie.
Dana, yeah.
Leslie Thomas.
Mm-hmm.
How can you play a role that's so different from your real personality?
Ooh. Because I've experienced so many people like Dana Leslie Thomas in my journey. When I said to you that me being under that table with that bottle of Alizé crying out to God was one of the moments, I really meant one of the many, many, many moments.
Right.
I've experienced very controlling, arrogant, manipulative, narcissistic. These are all the things that she is. Diabolical, crazy, special, whatever. I know there's certain words you're not supposed to use, because they're sensitive now. But
Right.
I'm really talking about the character, y'all. So don't take it personal. I've experienced that person in so many different ways. And so when you've seen that behavior over and over and over, or you've experienced it so extensively, you can mimic it. And that's what we as actors do. We're supposed to be able to pretend. And the wonderful thing is that I can leave that crazy woman, that special, strange, schizophrenic, whatever she is. There's so many words for her. It's
Right.
like every time I interview, half of them leave my brain. But there'll be days I'll be thinking like, ooh, I'm reading the script. I'm like, ooh, she's this and she's that. And she's selfish and she's mean and she's, but so many things that she is, I leave it on set, because if I brought it with me,
Mm-hmm.
when I was just talking to my husband a few seconds ago, like, baby, get you close to George, been like, baby, close that door. What's wrong with you?
Right.
That would have been Leslie.
Or would it have been Dominique?
Huh?
I said, or would it have been Dominique? Because she
Or would have been Dominique. Dominique is more cunning and devilish and murderous.
Right. She don't play either.
So
So
it
he
would've been
didn't
Dominique.
quiet down. He might have been-
Right. And girl, I can't have these characters in my spirit.
That's
So
funny.
I can't have it. We can't do this, And because my heart is completely opposite of what these characters are, it is difficult for me to be that way. Like I love a happy ending.
Mhm.
Tony and I were talking yesterday because I'm crying my eyes out over the Frankenstein movie, and he's like, okay, but what if it had ended in a different way? And it wasn't a happy-ish ending, sort of, or something I was watching. And he's like, what if it ended in a different way? And I'm like, then I wouldn't have been happy about that. I love a happy ending. I love to see people win. I
Right.
love to see people win on The Price is Right.
Right.
I love to see people get their cars and their
Right.
homes. I love it when my friends call me like, oh man, I got a brand new home. I got a brand new car. I'm like, yes. I feel like it's me.
Right.
And that's just who I am.
Mhm.
I love to love. I love on strangers. I pray for strangers. I see
Yeah.
mamas on the bus stop. You too?
Yeah.
Girl, yeah. Have you ever seen like a single mom, or she may or may not be single, we're just assuming, she's at the bus stop, and I'm like, Lord bless her with a car so she can have a car and be safe with her and her babies, or just people. It doesn't even have to be a female. Just
Mhm.
I see it and my heart goes out. And sometimes, that can be seen as a weakness.
Right.
And people try to take that for granted, or they think, oh, she's nice, I can do this and I can do that. And back in the day, that was the case.
Mm-hmm.
But now that I'm a bit more vocal,
Right.
there are just certain things that I will and will not allow. Amen.
Amen. So one of the audience asked, did you take acting classes before you became an actor?
I did take a few. But they were more commercial. I took commercial classes. Let me see, Michael. I took Michael's. I'm sorry, Michael. Forgive me. I'm drawing a blank on your last name. He's in LA. But if you Google, hey, I saw your commercial, Mike, you'll see, awesome guy. And he has the best commercial classes. And I did something else, but that was fluff. And I did a few short stints, but nothing extensive. And now here I am myself, an acting coach. And I've actually done, some classes, and I do help people and all that. So, yeah. And I love it. I love the teaching aspect of it as well. I love sharing what I know with other people because I want to see them shine and, do their thing. But yeah, I took a few.
Okay.
Mhm.
So let's get back to Beyond the Gates because
Yeah.
we have questions on this thing.
Okay.
So fans have noticed that you switch up Leslie's personality, like you switch up those wigs on that show.
Okay.
Do you have a favorite
I mean, do
look?
we want to elaborate on that? Like switch up the personalities, meaning like what do you think they're referring to?
So when like the different wigs, it seems like you go into a different headspace. Like sometimes you have on the short wig. I've seen a lot of different wigs on it. So do you have a favorite look that helps you drop into a certain headspace?
Oh, Sherry was fun. And I think that's because I got to do Sherry the most.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got to act like I was jumping off the roof. That was something. And that was something else, to pretend like I'm jumping off the roof in that scene. And I don't know if you all noticed. I mean, the producers wouldn't let me go full ghetto. But I gave Sherry a little lazy tongue thing, a little, because I really want to go, straight,
you want to go hood?
Slang, and Sherry, but they were like, no. But you give a little something. So, Sherry was kind of like that. She had a tiny little edge. I really wanted to give her a hard edge, but they're like, no. And so, and actually I'm glad that, they said no and kind of kept me where I was. I think Sherry turned out okay. But when I put that wig on and did the little Sherry thing, each wig had a different personality.
Right.
Then there was Anna, who was a little bit more proper and was the one who was overseeing, her daughter. Well, she was more like a auntie Anna or godmother Anna, looking out, the best friend of her mother, looking out for her to Kat. So I had to be a little bit more articulate. And then who else was there that I did? I did put on this red wig for Ted, but we never really went full into who she was. I wanted to give her a name too. The long red wig.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. It was a few of them. It was Sherry, it was Anna, and somebody help me. Can they come on in the chat? Because we did that back early in season 1.
I'm gonna tell you one of the things that I love about your character. Not only is she the villain, but the thing that I truly, truly love is you're the only character in her that literally plays multiple people in the same soap opera. Like I've never seen that before.
Right.
And all well.
Thank you, my sister. The thing is, she was still always Dana.
Mm-hmm.
But she didn't want them to know who she was at first because she was doing her dirt.
Right.
And trying to, being all messy and causing havoc and having fun.
Mm-hmm.
I think Leslie does what Leslie does because she just loves to play games.
Yeah.
And she loves to see how people squirm and run and how they'll react. And, half the stuff is just for her entertainment and amusement.
Mhm.
It's, you know, it's not all as diabolical as you may think, but it's just more just goofy. She just,
Right.
it's like, let me mess with them and see what I can get. Let me go on over to Anita's house and just poke the bear a little bit.
Right.
Because I'm mad at them for because she slapped me or baby girl choked me out. Daphne's character.
Mhm.
Nikki, I call her little Nikki. Nikki choked me out. So let me mess with Nikki. So, yeah.
So take me through, because doing soap operas is completely different, with how much scripts you have to learn daily, because you're learning something new every day, right?
Every day. Every single day. I would tell this story, but I don't want Miss Tamara to come and get me. But let's just put it like this. It is because of Miss Tooney checking me because I had a bad day one day. And she was like, girl, basically get it together.
Mhm.
I mean, she wasn't that calm about it, but
Right.
she let me know, get it together. In other words, when I finally again got over myself and being angry at that, and it's because I was not prepared on this one particular day because I was so tired from Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and all these lines I had to learn, and my brain was like, my brain was just fried. And I
Right.
remember that night, my husband said, well, we need to study. I said, I can't. And so when you take on a job like this, there is no such thing as I can't.
Mhm.
This is what you signed up for.
Right.
And once I got over being upset about being checked, which I deserved, I realized, yo, Lord, I've been praying for this all these years.
Mhm.
And finally you blessed me with a dream job. I don't have time to have a fried brain. I have to figure it out. And so what I did was I started to split my weeks in half. So
Mhm.
on Saturday or Sunday, or on, if I know I'm filming on Monday, I'll make sure I work on the first 3 days of, if, and usually we do have the scripts in advance for that week. And so I'll work on those episodes. Then the next day, give myself a little break because you don't want to, go overboard. And
Right.
then work on the last half. Or even if I get to Tuesday or Wednesday night, I know on Wednesday night, I can't watch TV.
Right.
I have to discipline my time.
Mhm.
And I know I'll be tired by such and such a time. So I need to sit down and I can't be on the phone. I have to tell the friends and fam, I love you. I have to study.
Right.
They may not always understand that, but I have to study. And so I'll study. And then that way, by the time Friday gets here, I'm not spent. I'm not done because I budgeted. I scheduled out my time and I gave myself a little space and break. Yeah. You have to figure out what works for you.
Yeah.
You know?
I could imagine that's a whole different pace. A whole different pace
Mhm.
doing
Oh,
that.
it is. It is. There have been days, and it hasn't been a lot. It's been several days where I had 41 pages of dialogue for that same day. There have been times I've gotten there, and
Wow.
they sent an email out. They were like, "Look, we understand some of y'all wait to get to work to learn your lines."
Right.
Now, see, for all the actors out there listening, I wouldn't suggest that. Have I done it? Yes, I
Yeah.
have. I have, but I don't suggest it because you don't really have time to really find the nuances and get into the character and find the cutesy little things that you can do, or the depth or the meaning of what this scene is really saying or what your dialogue is. And when you wait until the last minute, then you're going to have a last minute performance.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
I've seen myself and I've been like, girl, you know them lines like you should have.
Right.
I don't want to be that person or that performer. So I'm grateful for Tamara. I'm grateful for her letting me know because she's seasoned.
Mhm.
She's the vet. She's done this. And basically what she did out of love, when you think about it, was she's like, yo, I don't want to see you, not having this job because yeah, it's one bad day, but sometimes one bad day can lead to another bad day and another bad day. And yes, we have bad days.
Right.
I went to work the other day after getting a phone call that one of my very dear friends passed away. And I still had to go to work. I still had to show up. I still had to do my job. And I
Mhm.
can't go, oh, I'm grieving. I can't do this now. Because the viewers don't want to hear all that. They're like,
Yeah.
girl, I lost somebody too. I got problems too. I got to pay my rent, but I still show up and I want
Right.
to see you entertained.
Yeah.
We got to do our job. If this
Yeah.
is commitment, commit. So yeah.
I have been on stage performing, and you got to be upstage. You got to be, as you just said, performing, and you have to commit and do what you're supposed to do. And inside, I didn't had the roughest day, or somebody didn't pass, or something didn't happen that pissed me off. But I got a big smile on my face, and I'm
Right.
still doing what I got to do. But I'm like, oh my God! So
Yes. You have no choice. It's
yeah,
like I made this deal to, come and do this show and get on the stage and let me get through it. And the amazing thing is God gives us the strength
hmm
and we get through it. One time I was going on stage with my husband. We were doing a show called Mrs. Independent. And we got a phone call that a very dear friend, Harry, right literally 5 minutes before going on stage, Harry died. It was so unexpected. And he was a lovely, wonderful soul. And we had to have our quick cry. And it was a comedy. There was a lot of funny. I had to be Miss Funny Lady. So imagine, trying to get through those lines and being funny and dealing with the grief inside. You just have
yeah,
to compartmentalize it and then come back later and then have your moment.
yeah.
That's this entertainment, man.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
One of the questions from our audience said, "How do you character change and not mix up characters?"
Because when you're really in the moment, you cannot mix up characters. If I'm in the moment of being Sherry and I can't flip and become Anna,
Mm,
right? Now I'm not gonna say I haven't done some lines from another scene and been like, wait, we're not there yet. that's that scene. I just did lines from another. I have done that before, even on stage, back in the day. I've done that a couple of times. But when you're really focused and you're in the moment, which is what I teach my students about being, even though there's a thin line, even when you're being, you don't want to be so much that you become that person, but you want to be so much of that person in the moment, that character in the moment, that
mhm.
you're giving all that character is supposed to give in that character.
Right.
That. So yeah, focus. That's what keeps me from mixing it up.
Focus, focus, focus.
Mm-hmm.
So fans love you as Dominique in the family business.
Hey.
How do you balance the gritty crime drama world of the Jenkins and the high society Black royalty drama of Beyond the Gates? Because that's a lot.
It's a lot, right? Two villainous characters. Somebody said she always plays a villain. I said, no, I don't. And then I went on IMDb and started going through all my credits. I was like, well, yeah, and Because We're Done, even though it's a comedy, I did lock my husband up and chain him to the stove. Okay. And then in the Christmas movie I did with Tony, A Royal Christmas Surprise, I was mean to the royal queen. I was like, oh my God, are they right? But no, I've played a lawyer before. I've played the mom. I've played other characters. You guys just haven't seen all that stuff. But to answer that question, Dominique is more, even though people see Leslie as a snake. Leslie is a snake, but she's a snake in your face snake.
Mm-hmm.
Dominique is more of a slither and slide, roll up on you from behind kind of snake.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes, teachers will do the whole animal thing. I never really got off into that, but I kind of get it though. What animal is this character? They're both snakes, but they're two different kinds.
Yeah.
And so when I come into the role of Dominique, to me, it's more sexy and smooth.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Leslie is a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
She like gives you so many different kinds of personalities,
Mhm.
even just as Leslie, just as Dana.
Right.
She 1 minute she trying, to be she's angry, and the next minute she's smooth and cool, and the next minute, she's crying with Eva. And emotional with Peaches, or snapping off about Peaches, because she don't play about her Peaches now. And she don't play about Evie. Yeah.
That's cool. So you were a panelist at BBR,
Yes.
as well as you was just recently honored at our very first award show. Can you tell us about your experience working with us?
One, you are so classy
Thank you.
in everything that you do. And each event that I've attended, I remember telling someone, this was so well done and so well thought out. And even down to the vendors that you have, they're all just lovely human beings. And yes, they're there to sell their product, but you can feel the warmth from them. You can feel the genuineness. And I'm all about being genuine. That like means a lot to me. And so your crew, everybody in your crew, even my little bro, Mr. Dillingham, was there, and then you got Chris Styles, and she's doing her interviewing, and the other young lady that interviewed me on the red carpet. Everything down to the backdrop was wonderful. The way that you presented all of the honorees, the way that you gave out the awards, I just was like, this is wonderful and impeccable. So congratulations, sis, because you are walking in your purpose. And clearly it is, because it flows so smoothly and it's beautifully done. So each experience with BBR has been a blessing and just a great, I just want to tell the world, y'all come. The next time you see a flyer on the internet, the next time you hear about it, just come, just show up, because it's better to experience it than for me to tell you about it.
Well, thank you for saying that. I do appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much. One of the things that our audience at BBR always says is that they love that when the panelists come, you're really telling the nitty gritty of, and being full transparent about, your roles and the things that you've had to experience in this industry. So that's one of the things that I want to say to you personally. Thank you, because you always come and show a lot of love to everyone, and you are very approachable, and that's something that means a lot, because there's some people I can say at BBR I have not experienced, and I think it's because we don't give off that type of energy. I haven't personally experienced it at my own events, but I have experienced it at other events where the panelists aren't approachable, and after they say what they agree to say, they're out and they don't talk to nobody, and different things like that. And I don't see that at BBR, and I definitely don't see that from you. Every time that you've come, you've poured into our audience and showed people love. So thank you.
Thank you for acknowledging that, because that's just who I am, how God made me. I can't be anything else. And I love sharing. And so I love meeting. And, me being out here for a year in Atlanta, I mean, again, I was in LA for 27 and a half years before moving here. And so I'm excited about meeting all these talented, wonderful people. Everybody has an aspiration. Everybody has a dream. They have something they want to do. So if I can take 5 minutes and share, let's go. I'm here, So I'm all about giving time, but thank you.
Now, as a producer, and this would be my final question.
Sure, you can ask me as many questions as you want. Let's go. I'm good. Today I'm off, so I'm not rushing.
As a producer, do you ever look at these short films and say, hey, this might be something that I would want to produce? Have you seen any projects that you might be interested in?
Chase did an amazing job. What's Chase's last name? Because he was actually on the.
Gutsmore.
What is it?
Gutsmore.
Gutsmore.
G. Gutsmore.
Gutsmore. I knew that. I was just testing. Okay, so Gutsmore. I'm like, wait, say it in my good ear, baby. I see. Gutsmore. Yes. Oh my gosh, Chase was on the show. We actually had a scene together, and he only had like a few lines that day, but I saw that he was a solid actor that day. But when I came the day that you gave me the honorary award and saw his short film, I was blown away by his talent.
Right.
And I immediately told the head producer, I said, there's a guy that was on the show. His name is Chase. I said, you guys really need to revisit him because he's phenomenal. I told her all about the film. She said, really? So, you know, she's got a lot on her plate and a lot on her mind, so I may need to have to revisit that. But I would, if I could, help them produce that. Absolutely. Because it also had messages.
Mm-hmm.
Don't bring me nothing unless it's going to make a difference in somebody's life somehow, some way.
Yeah.
I don't want no garbage.
Yeah.
It's got to have some message somehow. And that did. It had the message of greed, of not being greedy, and people trying to talk to him, but the pride, the message of, you know, pridefulness. And so I'd love to see where that film is going to lead and what kind of road, because it dealt with politicians and all.
Mm-hmm.
He killed it. All the guys, everybody in that was amazing.
Yeah.
Tracy Brunner.
Yep.
And that girl was phenomenal.
Wasn't
She
she?
did 5. If I could, I'd help her.
She did 8.
She did 8.
8.
That girl did 8 different characters. I was like, come on, Leslie Jr., come on in here. Let's
Right.
do this.
Yeah.
She did 8 different characters and was so committed. That's the thing. You just don't want to throw on a wig and a costume and act like you can be somebody else. You've really got to commit to that person's demeanor. What would a janitor be like? What would the judge act like? What would the lawyer act like? What would the woman, you know, the security guard? I mean, that was so brilliant. And it made me actually want to act with her. And then, like, oh my God, we could have fun. Girl, we could have some phenomenal scenes. Ooh, Tracy, girl. So, I mean, hey, if those two came to me and I was able to, and I had the time, I would love to help them.
Oh, I love to hear that. That's one of the biggest things that I want to be able to bring is putting people together to really be able to help one another and stuff. So
I love bringing people together. I love connecting folks. So yeah, I'm all about that too.
Yeah, yes, for sure. So can you leave one word of advice to our different actors and fellow producers and writers here on Transparency Podcast?
Yeah. Pray. You got to have some spiritual foundation. I know we all have our different beliefs. I don't knock anybody's belief, but I can only tell you what works for me. What's gotten me through this, and yes, it has been a challenging journey for 28, almost 29 years? I don't know. All these years in this business and doing this and being and jumping back up and brushing myself off, I didn't do it just by just doing that. I did it through prayer and belief and trusting that God created me for a purpose in a time such as this, and that He has a path for me. And that path is to make a difference somehow, some way. It may not be for you, but it may be for the next person that's listening. But whoever it's for, it's my job. It's my job as a believer, a person of faith. It's my job as a prayer warrior to tell you what works for me. I don't know what works for you, but I can tell you that's what's gotten me through. And don't compromise. I can promise you I have never ever compromise. And that's probably why it's taken so long for me to get here, even just to this place, because I know there's more. And here's something else. never ever think you've arrived, because there's always room to grow. I will tell this to a million more people a million times. You have never arrived, because the minute that you've arrived, guess what? Hold up, let me use this as an example. Let me pick up this glass right here. Let's say that you climbed and it took you all these years to get right here. If this is your limit, baby, then where else do you have to go but down?
Right.
Now imagine if that limit there was across from you was another limit and another. The sky is no limit. God made this big, beautiful galaxy and universe, honey. Let me tell you something. There are so many more levels to go. But while you're getting there, make sure you're growing and elevating your mind and your spirit. Because without that, what's the point? So my prayer is for your souls. I'm all about souls these days, but I'm going to be honest with you. I care about people's souls. I don't care about what you look like. I don't care about where you're from. I don't care what ethnicity. If your soul is not where it needs to be, that's my concern. So before it's too late, because tomorrow's not promised. I just told you I lost a dear friend. She's a few years younger than me. Completely unexpected, just the other day. She didn't know she was going to leave up out of here.
Right.
I can guarantee you there's much more beyond this physical body. That I know. So that is what I want to share. You could take it, you could leave it, but as long as I did my job and I shared it with you, hopefully one day it'll register and make a difference. And I love you. I ain't got to know you to love you. That's just who I am and how God made me.
You are awesome.
Thank you.
I want to take this time to say thank you so much for being a part of Transparency Talks podcast, and on your day off, when you finally have a day off.
Girl, look, I got a couple of them coming up. I'm like, wait a minute, y'all, what's going on?
But I do want to say thank you so much. And the last thing I want to ask you is, at this time of your life, what matters the most to you?
Being a better me every day. Every day, I just want to do better. My focus this year in 2026 is, how can I make me better? Instead of looking around at everybody else going, he did that and she did that and she said that. Don't worry about them, y'all. Worry about you. My focus is, okay, Trisha, are your thoughts better today? Are you gossiping? Then stop. Are you tearing this person down or building them up? Are you focusing on doing a better job as an actress? Are you writing? Are you? What am I doing to prosper inwardly and elevate mentally and again spiritually? What am I doing to be a better me? That is really important to me. Of course, family is important. Of course, number one, God always. But right now, I got to do better and be a better me. Period. All day, every day. Period, sis. Real talk.
That's cool. So thank you so much, Trisha, for taking the time to talk to our audience and to answer some of their questions and everything. I truly appreciate you. And you stay on. But everybody, we are out of here. We're going to talk to you guys later.
Hey, thank you. It's been a pleasure, guys. Bless you all.
Peace out.